God said, I'm still looking for men who will come and take their turn in the chain of generations and stand in the hedge and make up the gap. It doesn't matter what the world is trying to do. It doesn't matter what socialism or communism or any other form of liberalism is trying to do. God's going to have some men, some fathers, either natural or spiritual, who are going to stand in that gap and square their shoulders out, stretch themselves in that place and say, I'm not going to bend, I'm not going to bow, I'm not going to budge. I'm going to do righteousness. I'm not just going to stand for righteousness, but I'm going to work it. That means we're going to do it. How many of you know we need people who will not just talk about it? This hour, we need people who will do it. God didn't say, I sought for an angel. He didn't say, I sought for a system. He did not say, I looked for a program, because the world's got plenty of them and so does the church. He said, I sought for a man and I couldn't even find one who would take up the place. But I want to tell you something. In the last of the last days, when Babylonian confusion prevails, God still has men. They're not as celebrated as those who fail. They're not as mentioned as often as those who mess up, who lose their reputation, who walk away from the things of God. But there are men, even in this house, who are standing in that gap, making up the hedge for the last generation on this planet. You see, that's the man that we're looking for today. The man who shall never be moved. The man heaven calls upright. The man earth calls rare. The man hell calls dangerous. I tell you, hell trembles when he sees a supernatural man taking a stand for truth. You believe that? And the man, his own household, will rise up and call him blessed. Men who will not move. The world around us has forgotten what they look like, but the Bible has not forgotten what they look like. That man does not just talk about righteousness. He does not just believe in righteousness. He actually works it. He gets up in the morning and he labors at righteousness. Listen, like a man who works in the field. He puts his hands to righteousness. He sweats over righteousness. He pursues righteousness as a craft. Righteousness for him is not an idea. Righteousness for the upright man is a daily occupation, and it governs every decision that he makes. It might even govern his diet. It governs everything about him. He gets up in the morning and he labors in righteousness. He's not waiting for some big moment to do something righteous. He's working at it in the small moments, in the quiet moments, when the babies are laying with him in the bed. He is working righteousness. I want you to know a great change can happen if we as men will make this commitment to treat righteousness as something we work, not just something we believe in. And we don't think of righteousness as a demonstration. We think of it as a description. But it's actually a demonstration, a behavior, a thought process, and also a work process. This righteousness shows up even in the small moments of his life, in how he speaks to the clerk at the gas station, how he treats his wife when no one else is watching, how he handles his money when the spreadsheet sits open, in how he answers his children when he's tired. Righteousness is not what a man preaches. Righteousness is what a man works with his hands, with his life, with his deeds. He does not lie to himself about sin. He doesn't lie to himself about his motives. He doesn't lie to himself about his failures. He does not tell himself a story that is more flattering than the actual truth. This is the rarest honesty in the world. And apart from righteousness, it is not accomplishable. Only a man who's working righteousness can truly be able to control the narrative that he tells himself. Every one of us talk to ourselves, either in our minds or out loud. When you leave a room and you talk to yourself, that's the truth about who you are. That's the truth about what you think. The thing you won't say to anybody else. The opinion that you won't express to anyone else, but the one that you will readily tell yourself. That will become your reality eventually if it's not dealt with, and it will eventually become the fruit of your lips. But the man who refuses to deceive himself, that man is one built on the line. The plumb line man. Oh God. Fill this house with plumb line men. Let every one of us dedicate ourselves to being plumb line men.